say with a serious face, welcome to my YouTube channel. But I just can't, so hello. Yeah, so I intended to do this little video just before we were going away on holiday. I was just going to talk you through the packing process for a family of 4 with 2 young children, sort of organising ourselves for a fairly long haul flight and then preparing ourselves for a completely different climate at the other end. So yeah, that was my original plan, but I'm back off holiday, so it's totally a post-holiday video. And that was because I think it was about 3 days before we flew out, I woke up in the middle of the night, tried to swallow, and just knew instantly. I used to suffer really badly with tonsillitis when I was younger, and there's just no mistaking that when you swallow, it's literally like you're swallowing glass. So complete panic stations, because I know the doctors aren't keen to sort of give out penicillin and antibiotics for tonsillitis, and I've had tonsillitis ruin a trip before. It totally wiped out a New York trip, so I did not want that to happen. So after many tears and a lovely doctor who was really understanding and could definitely see the symptoms were going to get worse unless treated, I got the medication. And I'd say maybe 2 days into the holiday, I was back in business. I felt completely like myself. So big thanks to that doctor. So this brings me to my number 1 tip. My number 1 tip, I don't even know what had possessed me, because this is so out of character for me. But my number 1 tip, you don't even need to have children, just like a traveling tip, is pack a week before you go away. And like, I cannot believe I did, really, still. And I'm just so thankful that I did, because I was in no fit state just before we were going away. I literally could not get my head off the pillow, and the fever had hit, and once that hit, I was completely useless. So yes, pack a week before you go away, because if you do that, you'll definitely know what you still need. And you'll also, if something happens, if you get tonsillitis, then you don't need to worry. You don't need to worry about, I actually try and imagine, like, if I'd had to have packed with tonsillitis, I think it would have been comedy at the other end. I think we would have been pulling out in my sort of like, if I'd packed in my fevered state, we would have been pulling out probably woolly jumpers at the other end. So yeah, but that did mean that, obviously 2 days before your holiday, you've still got all your little bits that you still need to get. So I had to send Michael out to do all of that, which is like, yeah, I put the fear of God into him, I put the fear of God into me, but he did okay. I do not think he would have thanked me though if he was stuck packing for all of us. Like, I dread to think. So yeah, number 1 tip, get the suitcase packed. And actually, as well, as I was packing the suitcase, I could feel myself getting really excited. So it's kind of a nice way to sort of prepare for the holiday too. So that actually brings me to my first purchase. Yeah, so we thought we were totally set with suitcases. We'd had suitcases from a few years, no, actually, tell a lie, they were from our honeymoon, so they were a while, 7 years ago. So actually they were quite old, but we didn't realise they'd got damaged when we moved home. So we were, I think it was, yeah, a week before we were going away, and we had to go and buy suitcases. So I was really chuffed with this purchase, because obviously for a last minute purchase, for something pretty essential when you're travelling, I didn't want it to cost us a fortune. And yeah, there's just so much choice out there as well, so it's where do you even begin? But Primark came up trumps, came up absolute trumps, and now I've travelled and come back, I completely and thoroughly recommend these cases. Yeah, so it's just plain black luggage, and I think the brand is called It Luggage or IT. No, I'm gonna go with It Luggage. And what caught my eye about this suitcase, it had a big sticker on it in the shop, but what caught my eye was it's really lightweight. So it is 2.1 kilograms, which was perfect because I think we only had an allowance of 20 kilograms, and we'd only booked for 2 cases. So yeah, it was essential that we got the most in our cases without going over. And like, when I say it's lightweight, it is like, it's empty just now, but it's literally ridiculous. Like, it's so, I think it, yeah, one arm, one hand, like crazy how light it is. So thoroughly impressed. And as you can see, it's done flights to Florida and back, and there's nothing wrong with it. And another thing that also appealed to me is it has a 10-year warranty as well. And the people at Primark told us if anything was to happen to it in sort of the first 28 days, we take it back to them. And then anything after that, we just contact It Luggage. And also they're designed in London, so they're a UK-based brand. And yeah, really impressed. So we got ours from Primark, and I think we got the biggest one as well, and it was just a dream. And the wheels are those 360 ones, so you can sort of turn it, you can spin it round. So yeah, highly recommend. Okay, so next up, preparing for a fairly long haul flight with 2 young children. Fun. Actually, I have to, like, I can totally eat my words. They were amazing. We actually travelled as quite a big family, as we were with Michael's family, and the children were literally outstanding. All of them such good travellers. Just a couple of things that I felt helped us and made the journey, just broke it up a little and made it a lot easier. So first off, they both had a rucksack each. I did sort of contemplate on doing the trunky, but at the end of the day, I just felt it was more stuff we could potentially lose, or yeah, just more stuff to carry, where if they both had a small rucksack each, that was them, it'd be on their backs. And if you follow my Instagram, you know that Archie is quite a fan of a rucksack, so that was going to be a given anyway. Yeah, so we just gave them both a rucksack. And we had snacks in it for starters, but then they also had each in their rucksack one of these. Like, how cute. These are from a lovely brand on Instagram called Occasionally 6. It's a husband and a wife team, and they do personalised apparel, personalised sort of home items and bags and such. So yeah, definitely one to check out. I'll make sure I put the link below. But I just loved this because first off, personalised, so there's no confusion whose is who, which, you know, young siblings, not young siblings, just siblings in general, they're very precious about what belongs to them and what's theirs. So yeah, these were great. And inside them, I just packed a notepad each, some felt tips in there as well. I think I put some sort of small snacks in there as well, like little sweets and things. Also put Lego in there as well that they could build. And yeah, that was kind of just when they were starting to get a little bit bored, it was a really good one to pull out. And then what was great, it could all just go back into the bag and then popped back into the rucksack, so we weren't actually having to rummage through the rucksack or the contents spilling everywhere or anything like that. So highly recommend sort of doing a little sort of activity pack, and yeah, this was ideal to put it in. Next up, what I got for the boys was headphones. And I did quite a lot of research with the headphones because obviously with young kids, when I was reading the reviews, people saying like they didn't fit properly, they broke really easily, and a lot of the reviews I read, the discussion was about the cord, and that although the headphones have been great, the cord had broke really easily. And this is what initially attracted me to these, because the cord is detachable and it's not a wire, it's got that sort of fabric coating as well, so it's really sturdy. and then the noise cancelling. I think the brand is called, I hate this, just so you know, never ever go by what I say pronunciation wise for a brand, because you can guarantee it will be wrong. But it's Ninos, who knows? But yeah, Ninos, Nenos, and these were Amazon purchase. I'll put the link below, but they're great. Obviously quite dinky. That was for Archie. To be fair, my kids do have quite big heads, and then you can just extend really easily, and then also they pack nice and easily as well. So then they got popped into their rucksacks, and they were brilliant. They've proven to be brilliant on holiday, on flight, at home. Like, the boys have never had headphones before, and this is a complete revelation when it comes to them playing on the iPads. Like, I don't know why I've spent the last few years listening to the droning noise of a game on an iPad when all I needed was these. So genius, really, really, really good headphones for little ones. So next up is footwear, and yeah, I can definitely say I am getting older, and I am such a mum now when it comes to footwear, because yeah, a 2-week holiday in really intense heat. We were going to Florida, so it was going to be a big walking holiday, lots of different parks. Obviously we're going to Florida in July, and the weather is so temperamental there, so they're really prone to sort of outbreaks of torrential rain. It's actually quite stormy through the month of July, and we knew this, and we had been caught in rain showers before when me and Michael had just gone to Florida, and many a shoe perished. I remember I had these lovely tan leather sandals that actually they just fell apart after a day in Florida, because they went through torrential rain, then they were in like immense heat, and the glue, everything fell apart. So I really wanted good, comfortable, solid footwear for Florida, and of course I wanted it to look nice. Like, I just, you know, Crocs for kids, yes. Crocs for me, I just can't go there. And I didn't really want to go. I love Birkenstocks because they are literally like gloves, but they're quite bulky, and I just didn't feel like they were the type of shoe I could wear with everything, and I definitely wanted a shoe like that. So I decided on, in the end, I went for saltwater sandals. And actually, just a little thought whilst I'm doing this, that to think I was going to do this video beforehand, and obviously tell you all the stuff we'd bought and why, I actually think it works better that I'm doing it afterwards, because I'm telling you the stuff we bought, why we bought it, and then now I can actually tell you whether it was one, worth the money, and, you know, useful, and would I purchase again knowing what I know. And these are an absolute must buy for me, and I'd buy them again in a heartbeat. So basically, if you're not aware of saltwater sandals, they are pretty much designed for holiday, hot, beach, sea weather. They're fully waterproof, they're leather, yeah, they're completely waterproof. These got caught in I don't know how many downpours, and then actually when we done the water parks, I didn't even bother taking them off. So they were in the swimming pools in the water parks as well, which is ideal for little ones. So saltwater also do kiddie ones too, like totally cute. And then they do various different ones. These ones are the Surfer. So these are completely waterproof, and they're pool shoes. So you can go in the pool with these shoes. This was a sort of must purchase for the boys, because I know from the sort of elasticated pool shoes you can get, they weren't great with Caleb when he was younger. He would just pull them off. So what I liked the idea of this, you've got the buckle, so you know they can do, you know, once they're on no term 3-year-old, no, actually Caleb could get them off, which is a bonus. I picked these the same with the style I went for as well. I picked these type on purpose because they have the adjustable buckle. We've got quite wide feet in our family, so I knew that they would definitely fit for a start because I ordered them online. But what I was really happy about with having the buckle detail is that if when our feet were swelling with the heat, all I needed to do was adjust the buckle. And then also I found the longer the boys spent in the water, obviously their feet would start to shrink down, so it was brilliant. I could just tighten the buckle as well, so they were never slipping in the sandals at all. I cannot recommend these shoes enough. One thing I will say, but I think is quite typical of sandals in general, is they did rub on the boys to begin with, but the brand offers great advice. Literally soak them in water, so put them in water and then put them back on, and that helps to stop it rubbing little one's feet, and that indeed worked for us. So yeah, I absolutely cannot recommend this purchase enough. They were a bit of a splurge, so I think the little ones are 40, they're definitely over £40, but again, I think it's totally worth the money. It ended up being that we only took 2 types of footwear for the boys. They had these and they had trainers, and that was it. So I think they're worth the money rather than maybe buying 4 pairs of different types of sandals or sort of slip-on shoes or pull-on shoes or stuff like that. So yeah, for me, they were a good investment. And what's also good is Caleb's ones will be getting handed down to Archie. So again, it was a worthwhile purchase there. So yeah, highly recommend. Love these. So as I mentioned there that I'd only packed 2 pairs of shoes for each of the boys, I'd say that was very much I was quite proud of myself actually. I have got a history of being such an awful packer. Like, I used to just pack my wardrobe because I would panic and I'd think, well, I don't know what I'm going to want to wear on whatever particular day or whatever evening out. So I would pack my wardrobe, which obviously now when I've got 2 kids, that is not an option. So I feel like I have got very good with just keeping things down to a bare minimum and not overpacking, because there's just no need. There really is no need. So that brings me on to my next thing. Was I would recommend anyone traveling and who's going to be like out and about and visiting different places and what have you, is a small bag, just a small shoulder bag, and that can be any bag, any style, any colour, just as long as it's nice and not ridiculously small. You want to be able to get stuff in it. So for example, I got this little beauty from Zara, and I was able to get my camera in it, my phone in it, our park passes, our passports if needed. I was able to get a small purse in with money, car keys, etc. So this one was a really good size, and I chose this one because tan goes with everything. So I wanted it to be a bag that I could just chuck in and that was it. It could go with all of my outfits. So we had the pretty detail at the front, but then if I didn't want it to look sort of too embellished, I would just switch it round to this side and wear it this way, and wear it over body, on the shoulder, and then also just as a sort of clutch style. The reason I recommend a bag like this is this pretty much, if I wasn't wearing it across myself when we were in the parks, you would find this bag, it was in our rucksack. And I just found it so much easier than maybe not having a bag like this and putting all of the contents into the rucksack. I just find that, especially when you've got kids who are sort of running off in different directions, wanting different things, or especially with Disney, we split up as well. So if Michael would maybe be doing a ride with Archie, I'd be doing a ride with Caleb. So it meant that I was able to just obviously take the bag out the rucksack with any of the stuff I needed. And yeah, I can't bear that whole rummaging in a bag for stuff. So every time you opened the rucksack and you knew you needed anything crucial, it was in this bag. I would highly recommend, and yeah, I loved this little one, and it was only, I think, £19. So I'll pop the link down for that too. And then lastly, but by no means least, I need to talk to you about this product. This was the absolute game changer of the holiday. I cannot recommend this enough. And this is the Baby Zen Yo-Yo stroller. Check me out. I'm still so, like, in America, stroller. We'd call it a Pram. Yeah, I cannot rave about this product enough. We were very, very lucky to have this sent to us by Baby Zen themselves. And this is a collapse down. And what we love so much about this pram was it can go on flight with you. So it can go in the overhead luggage. And is it just me? But do you know, sometimes like you read that stuff and I don't know why, a little part of me is like, really though? Really? Can it fit? Are you sure about that? Is that maybe just for certain airlines that are ginormous, or will it fit in just like a regular plane? I just sometimes get the fear and doubt stuff like that. This is, our flight was a Thompson flight, it was to Florida, and we had no issues whatsoever. We also had no issues with the check-in point as well, because that was another thing I was a bit dubious about. You know, it might say that the dimensions are right for it to go in overhead luggage, but are the airline going to be fine with that? And I can't speak for all airlines, but Thompson were amazing and they were thoroughly impressed about the fact that it was a pram and that it went down to this size. So I'll be able to show you better, but I definitely wanted you to see it in its bag. So you get this bag complete with it, and then there's a handle, so then you just literally wear it over your shoulder. It's really lightweight, it's brilliant, and it really made Florida so much easier for us. First off, the flight, so it meant that Archie could be in the pram right up to the flight, and then as soon as we got off, and he was really tired both ends of the flight, so it was ideal. He just got popped straight in the pram, and then we wheeled through to passport control, so it was ideal for that. But in the parks it was just amazing, and they also sent us the buggy board to go with it too. Again, I didn't know we'd have much call for the buggy board. Caleb's now 5 years old, he's a big walker, but it turned out in that heat he did need it, and it was, I cannot praise this pram enough. It's just, it exceeded my expectations, and yeah, let's just say I was dubious, and it totally quashed all of that and made our holiday so much easier. For a travel pram, it is a splurge. I would say that it is expensive when you look at other types on the market, but I think it's head and shoulders above other types. I personally viewed it as a travel pram, but it's suitable from birth, and you can also attach a car seat to it, so it is very much a pram for everything. And if this had been available when I was pregnant with Caleb and I knew just how good it was, I would have skipped the whole travel system thing, the whole bulky pram that took up your entire boot, and instead, yes, would have gone for this 100%. So any new mums out there, I know the whole travel system thing is totally attractive, and I get it, especially when it's your first, I totally get it, but let me tell you, this pram is perfect for all your needs when it comes to children, and you will thank me for it if you travel abroad. Like, honestly, cannot recommend enough. Thank you so much for watching and listening to me ramble on. I hope I didn't say or so too much. I know I did. I've just totally done it then, like guilty as charged. But no, thank you so much for watching. I hope you found everything I showed you useful. If you've got any questions, please pop them in the comments, and yeah, don't forget to subscribe. I'd love you to hit the subscribe button, and yeah, I'll be sharing more videos soon. So thanks very much. Bye.